Alright, so I wanted to make this video because I've had a lot of people come to me and ask me how to get over gym intimidation and anxiety. That's going to be the main focus of what we're talking about today. I've had multiple friends, family members come to me about, oh, I can't get into the gym because I don't like people looking at me, or about everyone's gonna judge me, stuff like that, or simply just not wanting to go and do it. So I think the biggest takeaway, at least that I've learned going to the gym 3 years, 4 years now, is that everyone thinks they're their own main character in their own story. So what I mean by that is, like, the big dude over there sitting benching 3 times your body weight is probably thinking of nothing other than getting the weight up. Like, he's his main character in his storyline. He's not going to care who's there or what anybody's doing besides him, because he's trying to get up that weight, which I do a lot. I don't know half the time the people around me, or even if people talk to me. A lot of time just in the zone doing my own thing, like zone everybody out, focus on my set, got 10 more reps to do 5, whatever it is. But I think that's the one biggest thing that I've learned in going to the gym for so long, is that no one really looks at you unless they aspire to be you or you do something impressive. Like I said, the dude that's picking up 3 times his body weight, he's probably not looking at anybody and judging anybody because he simply isn't there to judge people. However, me coming in, like, at that age, like, not knowing what I'm doing, seeing this dude put up that amount of weight, it's just like, holy, like, he just benched 3 times my body weight. Like, how can someone humanly do that? Which goes back to the concept of people aren't going to judge you, especially if you're a new gym goer or want to work on yourself anyway. Like, you've been out for months, or injury or stuff happens. That's what happens. But I think that's one of the biggest points I have to really beat down is that everyone's there to focus on themselves and make their selves the best they can be. So they're not going to focus on anyone else around them. You're never going to see people snicker at you at the gym, or even look at you in a weird way, or anything like that. Actually, the people at the gym that I've met and I've talked to and hung out with are probably the nicest people I've ever met in my entire life. Like I said, that if you see that big dude walking around, he's probably a big giant gully bear. Like, they're amazing people because they've worked on themselves for so long and put that discipline in, and they're motivated. And they're overall, a lot of the time, happier people going to the gym day in and day out and on the daily grind. So a lot of the time, they're actually some of the nicest people, and I don't think anyone be mean to me at the gym. I've had, people come up to me and be like, oh, what are you using the rack, or like that kind of stuff, which, I mean, just happens. Human interaction. I mean, no matter where you go, it's something that's a part of life that you have to deal with. But I think for the second point, first one being all that, would be just go in and do it. Because anxiety, I used to have horrible anxiety as a kid, and I remember in 4th grade specifically, I got sick one week and took 2 weeks out of school. I could not go back to school for 1 month because every day I would try to go back, I would get sick again. And then I would go home and I'd be fine because I'm not actually sick. It's just the anxiety and, the nauseous feeling that just, at least that's what I experienced. I get so nauseous, I start overthinking, go into the spiraling, and that's just always how it was. However, how I've gotten over that is by forcing myself into those situations. So the first time going in, it's gonna be one of the hardest. Second time going in, it's probably going to be the second hardest, and so on until you get normalized to it. That is same thing with anything in life. I mean, the first time you go to a new job and you get trained on it, I mean, you're not going to be 100% the best, and you're learning it, and it's caused anxiety for me when I've gone to a new profession and that kind of stuff, just because it's like, oh, am I doing this right? Start overthinking and that kind of stuff. But going into that steps multiple times over and keep on going and keeping it consistent too is probably the best thing for anxiety. Like, given I'm no therapist, I'm no psychologist, this is based on my experience. I'm not backing up any studies or anything like that. In my own personal experience, the best thing for anxiety is pushing myself through those obstacles so that I can come out without anxiety and I'm not anxious in those situations anymore. Like, I also used to be a very introverted kind of person. I started to push myself out into wanting to see people and go to parties and do all that as a kid, but like, I still don't kind of like people, but that's for different reasons. But I'm not as anxious in social situations, and most of my friends would probably describe me as more of an extrovert now, just because of the way I act. Because I mean, if you're not anxious in the situation and nervous, it's not going to be, you know, like, what's the word? Not nervous. I don't know. Well, it's going to be easier to show off confidence and be happy and just show emotion. Because if you're anxious and you're closed off to everyone, then it's harder to even experience things. So yeah, for going back to what I was talking about, for the second point, I would say go and do it. That is probably my biggest point, along with the first one, is that you have to just go to the gym, if that's what you want to do. It's with anything. If you just go and do it over and over and over, the anxiety will go away. The gym intimidation comes along with realizing the fact that if you're anxious about the people being there, that no one's really there to look at you. They're all in their own zone, all doing their own things, and stuff like that. And I mean, if you're intimidated by the guy benching 300 pounds, I am too. I still am. Like, very intimidating to see a guy that can just throw you across the room. But like I said, they're the nicest people I've ever met, like the people that do that kind of stuff. Anyone that I've been around that has like powerlifting records or that kind of stuff have always been so nice, so open, and even willing to help. Like, so I hope that you can get over your intimidation and the anxiety that comes along with going in, and hopefully you can apply that to other places in your life. Alright, well, have a good rest of your day, and that's it.